Justin, can you hear me?
I can hear you, man. I can't hear Justin.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. Justin, I think you're muted.
Hey, you can hear me now, though, right?
Yep.
Okay, awesome. Hey, sorry guys, I was having some technical difficulties there. I was looking for something actually too, trying to find it on my computer. I want to share it today because this is a one of those days where we have Bob Vieira here, and I want to make sure that I show the screen because he's our universal short sales.com resident expert when it comes to short sales. And he provided this item for us last week, getting the call right. Okay. This is a bit of training on actually how to talk to someone that is in pre-foreclosure. They've got that Liz pendants. You've heard me talk about that, right? That's when they've gotten the notice in the mail that they're in default. Okay. So this is, I want to kind of go through this a little bit today, Bob. Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
Will you take us through this a little bit?
Sure.
Let's do it because I want to work today a lot with them after you leave, with everybody here on handling objections. And so I want to talk about having tough conversations today with homeowners and tough questions, tough feelings, tough. And so this is right up that same alley, man. And this tool that you provided is pretty freaking great. And I'm really glad you did this.
Thank you.
And you've been putting out great content. And so when we run across somebody that is in a pre-foreclosure, meaning they've gotten a Liz pendants, they've been notified of their default status, maybe they didn't have a lot of equity to begin with, or maybe the arrears and the fees and the penalties are really stacking up on them. What do you do? I have one-on-one students that ask me, hey, can we role play this conversation? And oftentimes, Bob, I'll grab those guys right in the middle of the very start of that role play, and I'll stop them and I'll say, hey, wait a minute, man. Remember, my house is being foreclosed on, right? I have a different set of emotions than, just let's say, some normal guy off the street.
Correct. 100% correct.
So you kind of address that in this, you do address that in this book, this little booklet here, kind of a conversation guide. So I wanted to show this, and I wanted people to be able to go get it too. If you don't have it, you can have this little booklet. But he talks about, understanding this homeowner. And so tell us a little bit about it, Bob, if you don't mind, about understanding that seller's motivation and their, like this, watch your tone. That's partly what I was saying. I have to stop folks and be like, hey, now wait a minute. Remember, I'm already probably bruised a little bit here and defensive.
Yeah. Keep in mind, like when you're talking to these sellers, the point that I really wanted to drive home on this ebook was just like Justin said, you're not talking to, your typical motivated seller who just wants to strike a deal, get me cash and get me the hell out of here. This person is emotionally bruised, okay? Before you called them or they called you or however they got in touch with you from your marketing piece, they're going through hell right now. They're getting, constant phone calls from their lender. Hey, when are you going to pay us? Hey, let's, work out an agreement to pay us. They're getting letters in the mail. They're getting phone calls. I mean, it's very, very stressful for that homeowner. So one thing you have to have empathy, and you have to understand where they're coming from in their problems. You have to listen. You really have to be a good listener. You can't get on the phone and jump down their throat with a cash offer. You just can't do that. You have to, again, show empathy, listen to their problems, and just almost be like a shoulder for them to vent on, really.
Yeah. Here in this in this booklet, it says here that the last thing that they want to feel is that someone is pressuring them to sell quickly or being too aggressive. So, that's where the normal guts conversation, that's what we call it here, it's kind of aggressive. It's kind of aggressive a little bit.
Okay.
It's completely to the point, and in this situation, we might want to kind of draw back on that and spend a little more time building some rapport with these folks. Is that how we get around?
You could, you could still be to the point. You don't want to BS people and waste their time. So that, what'd you call it? Guts? The guts conversation?
Yeah.
I like
guts.
it. Yeah. So that's definitely still relevant, but it goes back to your tone. You don't want to, again, jump down their throat. You don't want to be in their face. Hey, let's make a deal. Let them do most of the talking and figure out where their pain point is.
Yes.
But I mean, you don't want to, you still want to be direct and straightforward. You just want to be a little bit more relaxed and let the conversation flow, a little bit more laid back. You want to be direct, but at the same time, you want to be laid back. Again,
Bob,
let them do the talking and just understand their problem, really.
1 call close, 2 call close, 3 call close. What's normal here for these kind of tough, emotional type sellers?
Believe it or not, 1 to 2. I mean, look,
okay.
You don't want to be super aggressive again, but at the same time, these people are really motivated. So like if you get on the phone with them and they don't think you're just some asshole trying to get a good deal, and force them into something, and you explain how you can help them, and you listen and you let the conversation flow, and you're not too aggressive, you could usually sign them up. Well, in your guys' case, get an offer, during that phone call, or sometimes what I find, and my business is a little bit different because I have to explain to them what a short sale is, and then sometimes they say, okay, let me digest it and call you back tomorrow.
Okay.
But if they understand what it is on the phone,
Yeah.
usually I could, sign them up right there. So for me, it's 1 to 2. Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're fine. That's how we teach here too. 1 to 2 call close. So really that's not different. It's just more of because you're not being a social worker either, right? You just want to be sensitive, I think, and aware.
Correct.
Of
Correct. And maybe, no, I'm glad you brought that up, because I don't want it to make it seem like I'm saying, like you said, you're not a social worker. You're not going to sit here like,
right.
The call, you want it to be direct, right? They need to know why you're calling, obviously. You're not going to beat around the bush like Justin's saying, but just have more of an easygoing tonality while you do it. Really, that's what it comes down to.
Yeah. It sounds really like what we teach here. When dealing with motivated sellers who are behind on their mortgage, I'm reading this right here under Shut Up and Listen.
Yeah.
It's behind on their mortgage. An aggressive and robotic sales pitch to start the call is a bad idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a bad idea anytime, no matter what the lead is, right?
Yeah. Yeah. People don't want to be sold. I mean, you know that. People don't want to feel like they're being sold.
And that's what you say here next, that people in these stressful situations don't want to be pitched or sold or anything. What they want to do is, this is powerful. What they want to do is vent. Yeah. Can you get them to open up and vent? That's when they start to like you and trust you. Is that true, Bob?
Correct. That's it. Sometimes, honestly, I'll be on the phone with some of these people that are, underwater on their mortgage, behind on payments, and like, I might do 10% of the talking, honest to God. I just let them get it off their chest, curse the bank and this, that, and the other thing. And you just, sometimes people just need to let it all out.
Yeah, exactly. And that's when you find that's what I talk about being this is so applicable because it applies really across the board, no matter what kind of lead you're on the phone with, but even more, maybe more especially with these in pre-foreclosure. And that is, you know, just being the person who can strike that emotional pay dirt was what I call it, which is getting, basically, you just summed it up right there, man. I've never heard anybody say it like that, Bob, but that's groundbreaking. And when you said that you got to get them to do what they really want to do, which is vent. That's huge. I've never heard anybody say it that way, but dude, that needs to go in somebody's sales book. I'm giving you credit for it now. The next time I made it up. Okay. I'm just kidding. Be the person who is understanding and will hear them out instead of openly trying to benefit from their situation of hardship. Do you ever have homeowners ask you how you make money in this, Bob? And how do you respond to somebody who says, how much money are you making? Or how do you make money? Or what do you get from doing all this? You don't do this for nothing, do you?
Every single call that comes up. And to be honest with you,
yeah,
even when it doesn't, I mean, again, my business model is a little bit different from your guys. It's similar, a little bit different, but even when it doesn't come up, at the end of the call, as I'm fielding their questions, I always like to say, hey, look, you haven't asked this, but I'm sure it's going to come up. This is how I get paid from it. You know, because I don't want it to be like, oh, this is too good to be true. This is a scam. So yes, it comes up in almost every call. And then even when it doesn't, I just tell them anyway. I'm just, you know, people will respect if you're just totally transparent with them. Yeah, I don't know if that answered the question. I kind of went off on like a rant on there.
No, that totally answered the
up.
question, because, you know, we get asked that a lot too, and no matter what type of lead it is. And I think that sometimes throws the caller, us, off our rhythm. This person wants to know how much money I'm making, or if
what do you guys say? How do you handle that? How do you teach your wholesalers to handle that? Because your model's a little bit different.
Yeah, I actually just respond the same way that you just described there, Bob. And I tell folks just point blank, yes, I do make money. If I'm on the phone with the homeowner, I'll say, yes, I do make money. That is not money that is paid from you to me. That is actually something that I get from the tenant buyer that we work with. So usually that's enough. And if they say, you know, how much money are you making? Usually my answer will be, I don't know, but usually a few $1,000s. Is that unreasonable, or can we go ahead and move forward?
What if they ask you about if it's not like a tenant buyer deal? What if it's just a flat out like assignment? Is it still the same answer?
Well, if it's an ugly house assignment kind of deal, and they ask me that, I honestly don't know until I sign that paperwork with my buyer. So the answer is basically the same. Yeah, it's just, you know, hey, I don't know until I know, but I should be making a few $1,000s here. But I am a real estate investor. That's what I do. Is that unreasonable, or can we go ahead and move forward? You know, you're really kind of like saying, and this is what I like about that, is you're saying, hey, listen, I'm trying to answer your question without financially undressing before you and ruining everyone's life today. You know, what I'm trying to do is address this question, and then with that tie up at the end, saying, you know, is that unreasonable, or can we go ahead and move forward? I'm really saying, hey, can we take this off the table now and never bring it up again? Yeah. You know, have I satisfied you to that point where we can? This is, you know, this is like, I have forgotten about it. Can we forgive and forget? So that's how I do it. Does anyone else have anything they want to add to that? How do you do it when someone asks you about how much money you're making? Anyone? Okay. All right.
Well, normally, I mean, it doesn't really come up a lot because I usually address it kind of like Bob was talking about. Look, if I give you everything that we agreed upon, if this is all in your favor, does it matter to you how much money I make on the other side? Understanding that, you know, the house is only worth so much, but I'm going to make a few dollars. Is that okay with you? Or do you have a limit in your mind or anything like that? Or can we move past that?
Yeah.
That's basically it.
Yeah.
Just like you were saying, Justin.
Yeah. Yeah. I think honesty and transparency is the best policy, but frankly, as a wholesaler, you really don't know exactly how much money you're going to make. You're projecting you'll make X amount of dollars, but you don't really know until you get an offer and you sign that assignment agreement, or you set up your double escrow closing and you calculate your transaction lender fees. So
when it comes to a wholesale deal, on a regular wholesale deal, I have very tough conversations with my buyer guy, because there are a lot of buyers that have issues with you closing and making any kind of money. So I find out right up front if that's an issue for them, and what is too much in their minds.
Yeah, that's a great point. I've had a deal or two go down on me, and that's because, they decided that it was too profitable for me, and they didn't want to do it. And I scratched my head thinking, but everything you loved about the deal yesterday
is the same.
And yet, interesting.
That's a scarcity mindset, because I deal with that sometimes too, because I get compensated from the end buyer as well. And, whenever I hear that come up, it's just, I don't know. I look at that as kind of a scarcity mindset. Like, what are you worried about, my company making if you're getting an awesome deal? Why does that matter?
Yeah.
You know?
Right. Yeah. I probably won't work with them unless they're like my only option. As soon as somebody goes there with me, I'm pretty much knowing that we are probably not going to get to the finish line, because whenever they go south, it's with guys or girls like that.
Yeah. And you want to go over to their house and bang on the front door, right? Smack them around a little bit, but you can't nowadays. Right. Nowadays, that's just not politically correct, I guess. I don't know. They changed the laws or something. I've had it happen too, and I've had a hard money lender one time do it to me. I had a hard money lender say, "Nah, I won't do that. I won't fund this deal because the wholesaler's keeping too much." See, to me, that just sounds greedy.
Yeah.
But that's what he was saying to me and about me. It's interesting world. So I like to double close over 10,000 just to let folks know. Just that way, we stay safe. But anyway, does anybody have any questions for Bob? Bob is universalshortsales.com. I wanted to share the screen one more time and show you this. I don't think I've ever shown this before. So let me share this real quick. Here it is. If you go to universalshortsales.com, you can click on the, what is this, the contact us portion?
Yep, you just hover over it. Yeah, well, you're already in it. So, contact us, and it's just the wholesaler investor contact form. That's it.
If you fill this out, you will get a copy of that book that we were showing you just a few minutes ago. Okay. So it doesn't cost anything. I don't think you're charging for all that great information.
Not a dime. No. Not a dime.
And it's pretty good. We were just going through part of it, and there's quite a bit left that we didn't go through. So check it out. If you're not already in possession of that booklet, you should go get it, really. And what that'll do is that'll put you in his database, where when you do run across a short sale candidate homeowner, you can then forward that information to Bob. Bob can take over that lead, help close them on the short sale concept and everything, and then get them through the process to the end and out. And then you get $500 for sending them the lead. So he does it all. You get $500. Not a bad deal. And now you can be a short sale resource for those type of homeowners in pre-foreclosure. By the way, here's the thing. If you're in the real estate creative business doing pretty house deals, you're probably sooner or later in your business going to pull or find a pre-foreclosure list, or have the thought, maybe I should work people in pre-foreclosure. And I also have some other thoughts on that too. People that have involuntary liens, but no Liz Pendens filed yet, So they may be getting close to a Liz Pendon situation. All right. And maybe you contact them and catch them before they get in. That would be pre foreclosure. Right. So that's just a thought. But at some point in your career, you're probably going to run across some pre foreclosure lists. And on that list, you're going to find some pretty house deals that you can do, but you're also going to find some of these dudes that you can't do squat with that. You know, they're over leveraged, underwater, they owe more than it's worth, and they're now in default and trouble. They're in trouble. Bob, save us.
Justin, you brought up a really good point though. So like that booklet, you could use that. It's not just pre-foreclosure leads. It's literally anyone. They could be 30 days behind. They could be current, but they're telling you, hey, I'm about to not be able to pay my mortgage for X reason. So like, it doesn't have to just be pre-foreclosure.
Yeah.
You guys can make deals out of any of those types of leads.
Yeah. Like I was saying, that booklet looks like a good one for, it looks like it's guts. Like it fits guts, which it's what we call our
guts. I like
our
that
stuff. Yeah.
That's intense.
Well, I didn't come up with it. I wish I had. It's Claude Diamond stuff, and
oh really?
He's a mentor of mine. So I just I can't come up with anything better than guts. I told him that one time. I said, I was gonna invent a new sales training course and everything, and I was gonna call it nuts instead of guts.
I don't know about that one.
I said, but I couldn't do it better than you, so I guess I better just work with your stuff. And that's really how I feel. But that booklet is very good, guys. If you don't have it, go get it. Sorry for the rambling. Hey, Bob, love you, appreciate you. Anybody last questions? Anything for Bob before he has to run? Anybody? Okay, Bob, we appreciate you, man. Thanks for hanging around. Hey, great content you're posting.
Thank you.
In the Facebook groups and stuff too, keeping us updated on mortgages and foreclosures that are pending and things coming up in the horizon and all that stuff. Wonderful. Thank you, dude.
Appreciate it, man. Yeah.
Couple of things. I have concerns, like if I would put it in writing, like say on my website or page or whatever, is there like legalities, and maybe Justin knows too, like what you can say and can't say? Because I thought I heard one time that you couldn't say with this type of thing, that you couldn't say it was a service that you were providing.
So no, that's a great question. If you're going to put that on your site or like anything, like if you're going to advertise for short sales or, whatever, never guarantee debt negotiations. So don't market yourself as a professional debt negotiator, and don't guarantee results either. You can get yourself into trouble by doing that. So don't advertise debt negotiation. Don't guarantee any results. Okay. And a lot of people in the short sale business, they'll give sales pitches and they'll market themselves as short sale negotiators. I try not to, I try to sway away from that word. I think it's a little misleading because there's nothing that you're actually negotiating, believe it or not, with a short sale. It's kind of false. But, you'll see a lot of attorneys do it to get business, and other, short sale processors will do it. But I just try to stay away from it. So, you could do what you want there, but I would suggest not using the word negotiation either. I would suggest that as well.
So what
it's just
being that we're in a different spot, we are referring to you.
Yeah.
And so, so how would you word it? Like, Justin, what do you think? Say you can refer to, like I'm not thinking. I'm thinking of.
I would just say, if you're underwater on your mortgage, and you don't have equity and you're behind on your payments, there's an option for you called a short sale.
Okay, that sounds good. Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, good one.
The other thing, I guess the other thing is, you know how a lot of people, when you talk with them, they don't want to even talk about it. Like now I have prop stream, so I can look up to see maybe if they're behind, right? But otherwise, it's like, say I do a Zillow scrape or something and I'm talking to those people, they don't even want to talk about that type of thing yet. So I was thinking, how would I go about that? You know, I can look it up on prop stream and then, or I could say to them something, you know, if you're behind in payments and kind of like, you kind of like dance around it a little bit. I hate to use that word, but I'm
Yeah,
just
I would, you know, I would just be direct with them, ask your questions. And if it's a situation where they're, you know, it might be too early for them to talk about it, if that's what you mean, maybe they're not that far behind. I would just, you know, end the conversation good if you can, be polite and just follow up with them. Just say, hey, look, no problem. It's not right for you now. You know, I'll keep in touch with you every couple of weeks, you know, and then just put them in your Podio or, you know, whatever kind of CRM you use, and then just keep touching them. Because look, a lot of these people, the fact of the matter is they're, you know, a lot of their situations, they're just not going to get better. So if they don't want to do the short sale on month 1, unfortunately, it might be their only option on month 4 or 5. So again, just be polite, be transparent, and just keep on, you know, keep on following up with them over time.
okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, that's great advice, Bob.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Anybody else? Last questions? Anything?
Hey, Bob, I don't remember if you answered this in the past, but
Yeah.
how are you dealing with am I going to get taxed on the difference here if I do a short sale with you guys?
Yeah. This is, that's my least favorite one because I get like, so like I try to stay away from it, but, so
Yeah, me too.
the way I structure my contracts, I try to protect myself as much as possible. And saying like, hey, look, talk to an accountant about this. But I know there's certain ways. And Justin, you could even jump in here because you avoided the 1099-C, didn't you?
Yeah, once.
The deficiency tax. Yeah.
Yeah, once.
So there's ways to do it. So during the financial crash,
I got lucky though. I think I was. You got to have a lot of luck to pull off what I did.
Yeah. There's different ways to do it. I mean, like I know it's such a general answer, but I'm truly not an expert on it. I know there's ways to avoid it, especially if it's your actual primary residence. But I'm just not I'm not versed in it and I'm not an expert in it. But like there are ways to get rid of it if you have like a savvy accountant that knows what they're doing, because the government did enact loopholes for it. So it's situation to situation. But the way I approach is, and I'm like, look, the chances are you're going to have to pay taxes on this deficiency. That's what I say. And then I tell them there are ways around it. So at the end of the short sale, contact an accountant and they could walk you through it. But like I always try to mentally prepare them that, hey, look, at the end of this, you don't have to come out of pocket, which is awesome, but expect to get a tax bill. That's the way I formulate it.
Gotcha. Yeah, going back, way back. I mean, I actually put like a disclosure type of thing on a preview, like old contracts stating that they would not pursue them for the difference. But
you were telling me that last time. I know, that's crazy.
Yeah,
I can't believe that worked. That's awesome.
You know, times have changed in 10 years, you know what I mean? So I'm just kind of curious. I don't really mess with them a whole lot now, and just kind of curious on, you know, if you had any secret insider tips on the board that you could share in regards to that. I don't think there really is a secret, you know, to really completely and 100% being able to steer around that. But
no, there's really not. I mean, like I said, there's definitely loopholes. There's definitely, because the government enacted them to help people during the last recession, but it's case by case, situation by situation. And I'm pretty sure like you have to be an owner occupant, you know, you have to be an owner occupant. I don't know. It's so complicated. It really is. Like it's way above, you know, it's way above what I know about it.
No, I get you. No, thanks, man. Thanks for sharing and everything. And I'm not going to bring that up anymore.
No worries. You definitely cannot write it in the contract. I know that. That's awesome. You guys did that. I don't think you can anyway. It sounds awesome though.
Thanks, brother. Always appreciate you.
Yep. You got it. Thanks, guys.
Rick always has great ideas.
Yeah.
Bob does too. Hey, Bob. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Larry,
Have a
did you
great
have a
week,
question?
everybody. Oh, another
Bob, can
question?
you can't do a short sale unless you're behind in payments, can you?
Great question. So if you're a government-backed, so if the person has a government-backed loan, so, Fannie Mae, VA, FHA,
Okay.
they have to see 30 to 60 days of delinquency. Okay.
Okay.
But if you have a conventional type of loan, then sometimes the lender will still consider it if you have a good enough hardship. So if you're not behind at all, you're paying your mortgage, but you tell the bank, hey, look, I'm paying you now. Next month, I'm tapped out. I lost my job or whatever the hardship is. If it's a conventional loan, you could still get the short sale done possibly. But
Thank
if it's government backed, you have to wait until the seller is a couple months to, apply for it.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Great questions today. Great questions. Anybody
Yeah.
else? Okay, Bob. We'll see you
All
later,
right.
man. Thanks
All
for
right,
all your
guys.
time
Thanks.
today.
Have a great week, everybody.
We'll see you. Go sign up over there, everybody. Universalshortsales.com. Get that booklet. It's good information. Good information to have. It's probably a refresher for some of you, but still, the fundamentals, I believe, is what wins the game. Coach Justin says the fundamentals is what wins the game. It's that guy that keeps hitting them free throws from the charity stripe, and it just dooms the opposing team. You know what I mean? Okay, so any questions today for me? Anything we can hop off on here? Hop off on? What's jumping off? Anything? What's happening in your business? Otherwise, I want to jump right into handling seller objections, homeowner objections. Anything else we can deal with?
I just wanted to just let you know that you killed it yesterday.
Oh, brother, these people don't even know. See, I kept it a secret.
Oh, okay. I kept you too.
But yeah, we did we had the Claude Diamond and Diamond Consulting has a annual competition of sorts. It's all good humor, good hearted. So it's not like I'll claw your eyes out kind of competition. Thank God, right? But anyway, it's who can sell the best or whatever, who shows the most guts. Okay. And so what it was is there was probably a dozen of us that signed up to do it this year to be in the competition, and there's a nice hourglass award and everything, and so he would you'd pick a number 1 through 60, and whatever number you picked was tied to an item or a service. Let's say you pick number 31. That's a nice slice of pepperoni. That's a pepperoni and sausage pizza hot out of the oven. You got to sell that. You got 3 minutes to close me. Go. Okay, so it's like that. I drew number 23 because I was like, okay, 23, I'm going for it. Okay. And it was SpongeBob toilet paper. I was like, okay, this is interesting. Well, I'm just going to go for it. Victor was also in the competition, and man, I put in the chat yesterday, Victor is not just a name anymore, because I think you might have won, brother. I mean, you were really, really good. What did you draw though? Tell everybody.
Bacon and cheese sandwich.
See, here's a bacon and cheese sandwich. You have 3 minutes to sell it to me and close me. Go.
Yeah, exactly.
See, tough stuff. This is
Yeah.
You gotta be...
And when I went on, I was having all sorts of technical difficulties. My camera didn't work. Nothing worked, right? And then when I finally came back on, he just put me right on and started the countdown. And I was like almost like 45 seconds in before I even got to the presentation. So I'm gonna get Claude for that. I'm a dude. You know what I'm saying? But he didn't care. He like no excuses, boo-hoo. You know how Claude is.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a lot of fun, man. I'll be happy as long as either you or me Yeah.
Yep.
So as one of us, as long as either you or me wins.
Yeah.
If not, I'm gonna go like turn over the water cooler and I'm gonna cuss a lot and
Yeah. Make a
you
video
know,
of it too.
I'm gonna throw the printer out into the bushes.
So you-
Yeah, I'm just gonna throw a big fit, see if that helps. I don't
Yeah.
think it will.
Yeah, put it on video too, so that you can get some traction marketing.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see what happens. But it was a lot of fun, and I think the greater lesson for me from it is that guts can be used at a moment's notice. The skills that we're learning here on the phone can be used at a moment's notice on anything. You can get that proficient with it. And so, man, it's kind of like, okay, asking me to sell you in 3 minutes a roll of SpongeBob printed toilet paper, that inspired me a little bit. I'm like, man, I could come up in my game a little bit, I think. You know what I mean? Because I thought I was ninja level, but maybe not. Maybe not.
You killed it though. I thought you made it very creative, and you added a couple of features to the base product, and you just kind of
Yeah, I don't know. I don't
yeah.
even know if that's allowed, but I don't know. Basically, I ended up selling something entirely different. It's hilarious. Well, it was fun, man. I appreciate the experience too that he gave us. I want to share this this course here with you guys. You already have it, and if you're in the VIP club, this is the Mastering the Phone to Get Property Deals 2.0. This is where we really talk about using the guts system to sell, and the homeowner on the lead, the lead here to get the deal, to get the property deal under contract. So there's actually a kind of a roadmap here that you can download. And when you click the button, of course, it opens up a Google Drive folder. It looks like that. But inside there is an objections cheat sheet. And I think this is probably one of the most forgotten about tools that's in your kit if you have that course. And the reason I say that is because you'll notice there's just a handful of objections on here. And I will tell you from my experience, which is pretty extensive with being on the phone for a number of years, these homeowners have not come up with anything new. Okay. They have not invented one new objection in the entire time that I've been doing this in my whole career. And I started slowly and been off and on quite a bit, but I started in 2001. Okay. So there you go. A long time, no new objections. This is kind of what it is. And let's just go through it real quick. And I want to practice this with you guys and gals. Okay. I want you to get better with this, more proficient with it, because when they throw these at you and you lose your balance, isn't that a horrendous feeling? Okay. Let's talk about that for a second. When you're on the phone with the homeowner and they throw a question or an objection at you that you don't know the answer to, and it throws your rhythm. You know what I mean? Like you're like, what do I say? In your mind, at least you're doing that. You're spittering and spammering and stuttering in your mind. Yeah, man, is that not the worst feeling? Like one of the worst feelings in the world? Don't you feel like there is a huge spotlight on you? Like I have for real had that happen to me on the phone with the homeowner, and like beads of sweat like start, drip, like getting up on my forehead, because I'm scared. To be honest with you, I'm having a fight or flight kind of reflex here, because they got me in a position now where they're asking me something that I'm afraid if I don't say the right thing, it's going to blow the whole deal. And honestly, I don't know what to say. Okay. Yeah, I mean and when you get off the phone, even if you were pretty successful with it, man, you ain't in a hurry to go do that again. That's like looking at the lion right in its face while you're hunting it. You're getting awful close to the danger. you feel it in your body, even. At least I do. Does anybody else willing to admit that like you really feel it in your body when you get in a position like this on the phone, like you feel the tenseness and maybe the beads of sweat? Damn, I've been there. Yeah. So there's a few people nodding their heads and so on and so forth. I appreciate you guys saying you have some of that same experience. So having some objections, some quick answers in your back pocket never hurt nobody. Okay. Now this is just a crutch. It's not supposed to be a script for you, but if you have to use it as a script until you become proficient at it, that's all cool. I wish John Moore was here in the VIP room with us today. He is a VIP member, but he's not present with us today. He's at work, I think. But what he does is he took these objections, he printed them out, then he cut them out, like objection number 1 and the answer. He cut that out and he hung it on the wall above his desk where he makes phone calls. Okay. So that when he's actually on a call, if a seller hits him with one of these objections, which is pretty much going to be all the objections that they ever do come up with, then you have access to it where you can see it with your eyes and kind of get back on track. There is nothing in the world wrong with having cheat sheets. Okay. You need them. That's fine. Use them. That's why I have them. Okay. I did not invent this just for you all. Okay. All right. All of this stuff, much of it, most of it, I've already had and have been using or have used myself because I've needed them too. So I get it. You know, if you need to cut this out, put it above your desk, paste it on the wall, put it on a cork board where you can put push pins in it, whatever you got to do, but make it available where your mind can access it and you can get right back on track where you don't get that, you know, that fight or flight reflex. I call it, yeah, I need to wear brown pants just in case they ask me a question I don't have the answer to, and I do the do on myself. You know, I'm serious. I've gotten that intensely nervous. Like I need to go to the bathroom, you know, like they're starting to ask me stuff I don't know the answer to, and holy shit, you know, I'm scared. This is bad, you know. This is bad.
Yeah. When I used to be a lender for 8 years. Like the best rebuttal when you don't know the answer, like that's a great question. How do you mean? That was my, like, when their interest rates was too high or they had something new on the disclosures. Because usually we never read the disclosures, me as a lender. There's like 6 pages of disclosures. And then they will throw you a curveball. What does it say? What do you mean? Oh, wait, let me see real quick. Oh, that's a great question. Or I'll be right back. Or I can answer for you right now. Just having those quick, like you said, quick reflex, because the longer it takes you to reply to the question, the more, like, it's the deeper you get into the seller not selling you the house, because you need to be on your toes quick.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a technique, what he's talking about, that is a very, very simple technique to answer their answers, or to answer their questions, their objections, their stalls. Okay. When you don't have a solution or an answer in mind. Okay. Yeah. Curtis says he'll be right back. He's got to go put his brown pants on. Yeah, dude. Yeah. I've been there, man. I'm serious. I've been there. One time I went to a guy's house and this happened. I mean, the guy was just like, it was hard, man. It did not go as planned. I stopped off at the Subway and left him a special gift in the garbage can in the restroom. I'm serious. Like it was a mess. Like it's happened to me. Now I know that's a disgusting story, but that's the facts. I've been that nervous and scared before where I had to wear brown pants. All right. So if that's what it takes, that's what it takes. But here's a technique that Arturo was talking about where, you know, whatever they say to you, you put it right back on them. I think Arturo said, whatever they say to you, you say, well, what do you mean? Okay. If they said, well, that sounds good to me, but I'm not sure that I'm comfortable with renting. Here's how you would do this technique. You're not comfortable with renting. What do you mean? Okay. You're putting it back on them. All right. Wonderful strategy, wonderful technique. And this works for probably 90% of all objections and questions. And it allows them to sell themselves on why their ideas just don't hold water. Okay. They don't feel comfortable with renting. That's fine. You don't have to feel comfortable with renting, but what do you mean? Why is that? Oh, okay. Well, if I were able to solve that problem and make you more comfortable, would we have a deal? You see how much closer now you are to closing? All right. Just with this one simple technique of repeat the last few words. That's what I call it. I don't know. I'm sure it has a technical name, but this technique is, I call it the repeat the last few words technique. Let's try it right now. Somebody throw an objection and then let me respond to you, and I'll demonstrate it one time, and then I want to get some interaction here in the room, and let's practice this technique. Let's practice the repeat the last few words technique.
I don't want anything. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, that's great that you called me, and I wish I can sell you my house, but again, I don't even know you. You just called me out of the blue. You got my number somehow. You got my address, and I don't even know you.
That's a good one. That's a good one. You don't know me. I don't understand what you mean.
Yeah, you just rang my number, and this is the first time that somebody has called me to ask to sell my house.
Okay,
and
so
for all I know, you might be someone outside of this country, and right now with everything that's going on, I gotta be real careful.
Okay, so if I can make you feel comfortable with me and all that, is there a possibility we could talk about doing business today?
Yeah, definitely. How would you do that?
How would you like me to do that? What can I do? You see how now I'm putting a lot of pressure back on him.
That's a great rebuttal, because I've gotten it, and I was like, well, I can't meet you, but yeah, like putting it back to them. Well, how would you want me to make you feel more comfortable?
Yeah.
That's,
so
again, that caught me off guard right now. Like, well, I don't have any other excuses for telling you that I don't like you because I haven't known you.
Right. So we're going to get this cleared up. We're going to get this cleared up right now, and then we're going to take it off the table. We're never going to have to talk about this topic again. Okay. But you can see during that strategy that you actually shared with us, Ace, I'm just basically repeating the last thing you said. You said, well, how would you show me who you are so that I can trust you and like you? Well, how would you like me to show you who I am so you'll like me and trust me? You know, I mean, I'm not brilliant here, am I? I'm not coming up with any ideas. I'm just putting it right back on the same guy.
I'm pretty good at the first one. Oh, how do you mean? But the second one, I need to concentrate to ask it again. Because I'm pretty good at asking the first time, well, how do you mean? But then when they put it back on me again, it's just, well, yeah, well, how would you like me to?
I find that you'll have to do that 2 or 3 times before you start getting to the real meat. And when I say the real meat, what I mean is get them to refine and define what they're saying to the point of, yes, I want 3 references and a website. And if you can show me that, we'll do business today. Okay. Because see, that's what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to close them, right? Ultimately, not just make them like me and trust me, but that's part of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep asking them to refine and define what they're saying until I can put it into an offer form. Hey, if I can put this in the agreement, or if I can make you feel more comfortable, or if I can do this, if I can provide 3 references and a website, or if I can give you some down payment money, or if I can, whatever it was, whatever their situation uncomfortableness is, if I can do that, you know, can we do some business today or talk about doing some business today? Okay. Because I'd love to ask you a few questions, let you ask me a few questions. And if it's not a good fit, you can fire me at any time. You see how slick I sound? But it ain't that complicated. It's not that complicated. Sometimes I listen to myself and I'm like, man, I sounded pretty slick there. I got to turn that down. You know what I mean? I got to turn it down. I had a guy, I was on a call this morning trying to sell this guy something. And he said something, I don't know, some objection. And I said, well, it doesn't sound like you're too into lease purchasing stuff. You're not, maybe it's not a good, maybe you feel like it's not a good fit for you. And that's okay. You can tell me no. I thought that was cool. I thought it was cool. But the guy said, oh, the takeaway. He said, man, I hate it when people do that because see, now you got me talking, selling myself and everything. He's like, you know, I'm not going to do that. He's like, see, I didn't know the guy was like probably an engineer or some kind of analytical mind, you know, like dissecting my conversation, just like I was dissecting his, you know. I didn't close the guy. I didn't close him. Point of fact. Yeah. And I scared him away by doing a little bit of takeaway. Isn't that funny? But it happens. So I don't know what the point of the story is, but anyway. Yeah. Who said that? What's up, Ace? Who said that?
Curtis.
Hey, Curtis. Yeah.
Hey, brother. What when you got off that phone call, I mean, what were you thinking? How'd you feel? Because you're like, hey, look, I did what I normally do, but it kind of backfired on me. I mean, how did it make you feel? I mean, did you learn anything from it, or would you do it all over again?
If it were me, I would do it all over again the same damn way because I thought it was pretty good. Now, even though I didn't close him, that sounds dumb. I shouldn't say that. But you know, my thought when I got off the phone is I'll probably get this guy eventually. I'll probably be able to pick him up in a follow-up call. Because it wasn't that the deal was bad or that he didn't like what I was saying. It was just that he didn't want to feel like he was being sold. And so he'd had enough training or something to pick up on a few sales techniques that I employed. And that made him scared that he was being sold, manipulated. Okay. What happens when you feel sold or manipulated? The last thing you do is reach for your credit card, right? That's the last thing you do. What is the first excuse that you throw when you feel like that?
I got to think about it.
Exactly. Well, I'm going to think about it.
I got to think about it.
Oh yeah. I'm going to do it, but you know, I'm going to do it later. But you know, I'm going to think about it. But man, you've got my first attention here. How many times have we heard homeowners say that? I bet more than once. Well, I'm going to think about it. I mean, I think it sounds good. It'll work, but I need to think about it. Where did we go wrong there? I think too much of this, too much talking, and not enough listening. I think that's really in a nutshell what it is. So this technique that Ace brought up, very powerful, using this repeat the last few words technique. Let's try it. Somebody who wants to volunteer? Anybody in the Zoom room want to be volunteers? Let's try to send an objection to someone and that person deflect it with the repeating of the last few words. And then let's see if we can get them to refine it and define it down closer to a closing. You don't have to close them. Just let's see you moving in that direction with it. Any volunteers? We need somebody that's going to be the objector and somebody that's going to be the master salesperson.
I want to be the master.
I'll do either one.
Which one you want to be, Mag?
Master.
He wants to be the master.
Don't whip me.
Victor wants to be the objector. Now, Mag, I'm asking you to repeat the last few words here. Okay. So practice the repeating of the last few words. And anytime you're ready, Victor, throw the objection. Send it.
So, you know, how do I even know, you know, who you are? I mean, who are you? You just call me out the blue.
What do you mean? I just called you out of the blue?
Yeah.
Okay. What if I wouldn't be able to no, hold on. Now you said what if I wouldn't be able to make you more comfortable knowing me? Is that something that we can talk about, or maybe not?
Yeah, I need to be more comfortable knowing you, but you know, I'm not just gonna just, you know, I'm uncomfortable because you know I get a lot of scammers, man.
Oh, so
Okay, say you've had a lot of scammers.
you have
Yeah.
a lot of scammers?
Yeah, a lot of them call me. You know, I even had a few of the Nigerians.
Wow, Nigerians, right? Right. See, I'm going to find out. I'm going to find out a lot about this guy. If I can just, if he'll keep talking with me, I'll learn a lot, right?
Yeah.
Now that was a tough one, Mag. He threw a tough one at you. Okay, that was a real tough one.
But the Nigerian?
No. With the, you know, I don't know who you are.
I don't know
and
who
this
you
and
are.
that.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't have started there. I didn't even know.
No, that's all right.
That's fine.
That was a tough
you
one.
had
though.
on that one, Mag and guys, could you had said, well, I don't even know you. Well, like I mentioned, ma'am, I am an investor. Your property is in a good area that we're looking to buy. Would you like me to introduce myself again, or show you how I can do and make this deal process, or should we end the call right now?
Yeah.
Because in the beginning, you introduced yourself. Hey, my name is Arturo. I'm a local investor. We saw your house. It's in a nice area. So would you like me to reintroduce myself? Or is there any other type of documents that you would like to see to make you feel more comfortable? Or is this just you just telling me that it's over? Because if it is, it's perfect. I can go on to my next call.
Yeah, just being blunt, right to the point. That's a good one.
So I use a little bit similar but different. I go, oh well, that makes absolute sense given I just talked to you. But you know, if you give me just a few minutes, you're going to know a whole lot more about me. We're going to know a whole lot about each other by the end of this call. Is that something we can, you know, we can do? They're like, well, you know, make it. They'll respond with some other smart. I totally get that, and it sounds like you've gotten a lot of calls. Have you?
Yeah. Yeah.
And why haven't you moved forward with any of them? Was it because you didn't know them?
No, they just well, I mean, nah, we didn't really know any of them. I just want to make sure you're not a scammer, man. That's all.
I get it.
Cool.
I get it. What you want to make sure I'm not a scammer? Tell me more.
Yeah, well, I mean, you sound real. You sound cool. So let's just go ahead and talk about it.
Perfect.
See, I've had that happen to me too. That exact scenario, Victor, what you were doing there.
Mm-hmm.
And
Hey Justin, can you sound too real?
Oh, I don't know. Too real, maybe. I don't know. Probably, you know, too real.
That may have, when you say too real, maybe, and I don't mean to jump in, but just in that conversation you said you had with the guy yesterday, you know, there's sometimes you just have that situation where a guy needs to feel superior in a conversation, especially the engineer types and whatnot. Yeah. And when you came back at him and it sounded like you were well trained,
yeah, that
kind of, you know, probably put him off because their personality types, and this is what I observed, is they like to be in control. And as soon as he got the sense that you were skilled, you know, he didn't like the seat he was sitting in.
I'll tell you what, all a homeowner has to do is tell me they're an engineer, they're an accountant, or they're a school teacher, and I slam that damn telephone down so fast, I'm like, I'm done. Finished.
Why is that, Justin?
Because I've had my ass kicked by engineers and their analytical, break it down to every piece of the deal and understand it all.
That sounds like Claude, though.
Mentality.
That sounds like Claude, though.
No, he's a lawyer, so.
When he be on the phone with them scammers, that sounds like Claude.
Yeah, an accountant is the same way, and then school teachers I've had difficulty with, and I don't know why. I've had difficulty on the flip side with school teachers, explaining things to them in what I thought was crystal clear words, and them still not understanding me. And I'm just like, okay, I'm done with it because I can't handle a school teacher that can't understand what the words are that are falling out of my mouth. You know what I mean? And so I'm sorry. I'm just playing with y'all. I do have some bad experiences with those, but that's not a stereotype.
Tell
Yeah.
you what, I had a situation where they wanted to know my first wholesale deal, and divorce couple. She wanted to know, like, well, who are you? I don't know you. And luckily for me, I've been partnering around my LLC for like 10 years. And
Yeah.
so if you Google my LLC, I'm on the first page. And I took it from a realtor like that. I literally went to Long and Foster and got the keys from the front desk.
Wow.
Because when she Googled my company name, I was on the first page. And then my connected investors account,
Yeah.
it pulled up. So I was, my connected investors showed I had like 475 connected investors, that I was a real investor, and I had my bio. So that helped me. But like I said, you gotta, luckily for that, I had my LLC's been around like freaking 2010.
Yeah. I find that people do ask that question from time to time, but less and less the more that you grow into business. And I've had people ask me, how many deals have you done and all that. Now I just say, I'll just laugh. I'll say, man, Google my name, Justin Chambliss. That's all I need to say. Just Google my name, just my name.
Yeah, that's strong. If you have the background, if you have the background, but for all the newbies and stuff, they're not gonna have that. So you have got to, position yourself on that conversation.
Yeah,
look, by the time we get off this conversation, I hope to have you be comfortable with my knowledge and my ability to move this forward. Is that something we can, move forward on?
Yeah.
That's it.
I remember when I started, though, I remember lying. And maybe, I'm just being real. I mean, I remember lying. People asking me, how many deals have you done? Oh, well, I've done a dozen different deals, and just looking for another one, and was, interested in this one. I had no clue what I was saying. Had no plan or nothing. I was just out there swinging for the fences anyway. And but I lied a lot. And then I learned in the ugly house business that some of my buyers, I'll adopt some of their stories. I'll be like, well, me and my partners, we've done hundreds of deals. Well, my partners in my mind was my buyers, and I'm going to be selling this deal off to. So is that a lie? I don't, kind of, because if you ask them if we were partners, they'd be like, no, we ain't partners. I mean, I know the guy, I like him, but we're not partners. But to me, we are, in this conversation. So, I've done all that. I've played all those games, and honestly, just being honest really is the best way. Just, there's nothing wrong with saying, well, hey, honestly, this is my first deal, and I'm real excited about it because, I think you might be the perfect kind of person to work with, and this house is really exciting to me too. So I'm really looking forward to getting started. That's not something that disqualifies me, is it?
Mm.
Like put a little, almost like you're kind of chumpy, like, hey, you're not going to shit on the new guy, are you?
Right.
Come on.
Yeah.
I mean, are you going to curse that?
I also add, this is actually my first deal, but before I got here, I aligned myself with a lot of people who, know what they're doing, have done a number of deals, and can support me in this. So literally there's nothing you can, throw my way that I don't have a resource for. But the actual deal, this may be, this is actually going to be my first closing, and, I want to make a great experience for both of us. Is that something we can move forward on?
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not a lie.
Yeah.
I do have resources. I can get information. I don't have to remember a lie that I told. I don't have to justify anything later. It's just sort of, are you comfortable with that? And I think that the impression they get is that, you're sincere, you're honest, and you're upfront. I'm not bullshitting you, but, I am a professional.
Absolutely.
I agree with that. I think I know when somebody's trying to sell me, if it sounds real salesy or, it's not sincere. And then
Right.
that turns me off and I don't want to really do much with them.
And you feel it, right, Marianne?
Pardon me?
I said you feel it, right? You
Yeah,
sense
you
it.
feel it. And I mean, that's how I feel. So like you said, being honest, being sincere, like if they say, a lot of scammers have been calling them, like kind of align yourself with them and say, wow, I think if you're down to earth, even if you stumble over your words sometimes when you're trying to answer them, you might feel like you sound dumb. you know,
Yeah.
the fact that you're being sincere
Yeah.
and trying to
Yeah.
help them
Yeah.
sincerely, because we're helping them also, and that's why we're doing it. So, I think that goes a long way. And I know
Yeah.
with women, we don't want to feel, at least for me, I don't want to feel like I'm being taken advantage of. So if a man's trying to like do something like with me, then I want to know that deep down inside, I want to feel like he's going to protect me, not like he's going to take advantage of me and take a lot of my money and everything. Because I mean, I can be very naive sometimes, or not understand things. But if I feel like he's trying to help me and he's being honest and sincere and down to earth and he's not going to take advantage of me, or if he starts talking some of these slimy, expressions that sometimes salespeople will do, that really, it's like he's not trying to help me.
Yeah.
Whereas I want a man to protect me and try and help me
Yeah.
because that's what I
Sure.
look for.
Sure.
And then I'm willing to like, okay, let's do this.
Right. Well said, Marianne.
Yeah. Great.
Well said. Yeah, exactly. And a number of years, I'll wrap up with this story unless anybody has anything they want to share or questions real quick. And tomorrow we have role play day with Victor Walker, somewhere on the screen. Yeah, don't miss that. And then tomorrow night we have a session with me, and I'm actually going to dig in more to this objections cheat sheet. I'm answering any questions you have and stuff too, as normal, but I'm going to do some accountability talk as well. But I'm going to dig into this objections cheat sheet a little bit more, and I want to role play these exact objections with you this week. So that will not be a live broadcast at all. It'll be very private in the VIP. So please come ready to participate, because I want you guys to practice, even if you're just reading these objections at first. Okay, you got to start somewhere. Okay, you got to start somewhere. So let's practice that. Okay, and we're going to try to stay on track real tight to that on Wednesday night, and get it done. It's something I've been wanting to do for a couple of weeks now. So I really want to work on this with you. So let's do that Wednesday night, and then Friday, of course, we have Ace Arturo. He'll be back. Everybody's enjoying that, man. He's dropping a lot of nuggets, guys. A lot of nuggets. You know what I wish, though? I only wish one thing about Fridays that I don't see, and that's more bilingual people in the meeting. I wish there were more bilinguals or people that spoke, both Spanish and English, because I think Arturo has a huge thing he could do for folks that speak Spanish primarily and want to do this business. I think they can make a lot of money, and I think he's the guy for it. But he's teaching us folks here. He's teaching us on Fridays that speak only English how to do some really cool techniques. And but the story I wanted to share is a number of years ago, I went to a psychologist for a few sessions, and he told me that I was having a hard time compartmentalizing my life. And he said that communication is a problem for me. Okay. He said, because I'm not having any true intimate conversations with anyone, not truly open and honest. Okay. That's what he told me. So he began to help me reform my ways. And here's what he told me to do. And I have found this to be exactly what Ace said we should do with objections when they come up, is repeat the last few words, put it back on them, say, what do you mean? Okay. That's what that psychologist told me to do with my friends and my wife or my spouse or my partner or the girl I was dating or whatever it was at the time. Okay. So you can practice this too. So when your wife or the people in your life are talking to you, if you listen enough, at least to catch the last few words, you can say that back to them and they'll just keep moving right along. Talking. You know, this has been one of the most powerful principles in sales for me too, is getting that homeowner to open up. And you do that sometimes just simply by repeating those last few words they said and asking them what they mean and let them go. Dude, they're going to talk and you're going to learn more and you're going to learn more and you're going to learn more. And you know what? The more they talk about them, the more they like you. That's the crazy biological aspect of the brain. So practice this. Moral of the story, practice this at home with your loved ones. Okay, loved ones. Does anyone ever say that anymore? Practice it with your loved ones. Practice it with your lovers and your friends. Okay, they will appreciate it. And here's a side effect of the thing. You'll get better at sales. You'll get better at your phone conversations with homeowners, but your intimate relationships will also improve because they feel more connected to you. Isn't that cool? All right. Love you guys. Have a blessed day. I'll see you. Hey, Victor, tomorrow, 11 a.m. Central Time. All right. Love you guys. Have a great day.
You too.